Welcome to our show today, Real Talk with Miss Brenda. I'm Miss Brenda, and today, oh my goodness, are you in for a treat? Today is one of my favorite people in the entire world. She is somebody that I zeroed in right from day one that I thought, Lord, if you're going to have me to do this, I'm going to have that woman to do it with me. And sure enough, he opened the door, and, you know, I don't want to say that I stole her from somebody, but I kind of did. I saw her and I thought, oh, I got to have her. She could help me a lot because I was so green and she knew more than me, and I was so excited. Of course, it didn't take a lot to know more than me back then. But her name is Debra Jones, Dr. Debra Jones, but we all call her Chap just because we love her so much. So, Chap, tell me a little bit. How long have you been with us?
I've been with the ministry. This is my 18th year. I've known you about almost 20, I think, 20 years, because we met at the Birmingham Work Release Center, and you were one of my volunteers at that time.
Yes, I was.
Yes.
Yes. And you were the chaplain for the Birmingham Work Release.
Yes.
And ran a tight ship.
Tight. Yes.
Tight. And I got all in the way. Okay, so tell me, what did you think about us when we first came over there? Tell me, what was your first impression, and what would make you even think about coming with us?
Well, my first impression was, who is this lady?
What is this lady?
And what is really going on? Because I didn't know anything about Love Lady Whole Way House is how it was introduced to me. I found a pamphlet there at the Work Release Center, and I read over that, and I thought, interesting. And what eventually made me want to be a part of the ministry is the invitation that I received to come and tour your home, which is where the center was at that time. And at the end of that tour, all I was doing was just looking. I wanted to support, but I wasn't thinking that I'd be a part of it. So at the end of the tour, you said, I said, thank you for the dinner. That was the part that got my attention. You said, I'm serving dinner. So as I was saying, thank you for the tour and thank you for the dinner, you said, hold on just a moment. Do you have any free time? And I remember saying, free time? I've heard of that. But at the time, I really didn't have any. And so I asked you a few more questions, and basically the rest is history.
Okay, you were working with a gentleman in the Work Release Center, the chaplain for the Work Release Center. That was not your full-time job.
No, it was a volunteer position. They didn't have a full-time opening at the Work Release Center, so I was there as a volunteer. I served a little bit over 3 years there, but I was working for one of my church members at that time. That was my full-time job.
Okay, and what were you doing?
I was his field support specialist, which basically meant that I put out feelers for the sales that he was doing for office supplies. I was also, and I had almost forgotten this, I was a cohort with UAB, a customer service investigator, actually, for UAB. And,
what is that?
Well, we were doing research studies for the National Lung Study, if I'm not mistaken, at that time. So we were doing calls from cards that came in through the mail and just trying to get people to participate in the study.
I was a little taken back because when you came to visit me, you brought the guy you worked for. You brought him with you. You remember that?
I really didn't remember that, but I think later,
Yeah,
it's-
I remember because I'm thinking, awkward. You know, how am I going to say, sir, do you need to use the restroom maybe? I was, your spirit, the very first time I talked with you, I was so touched I was moved by your spirit. You seemed to be one of the kindest people I had ever met. And I thought to myself, we need a little of that kindness up in here because, you know, people amaze me. I don't think that they think I'm as kind because I'm so like in your face with it. I'm just really straightforward with it. But
Right.
you were very, very kind. And the women loved you so much. And
very sweet.
you talk soft. You are not rambunctious. You are not. You're not kind of like with you. What you think you're getting and what you really get. You know, you are someone that jumps in, and if you believe in something, you take it to the mat.
Absolutely.
You take it to the mat,
Yes.
and you're not someone that just jumps on everything that comes around. And so I thought, you know what? If this lady, I think what I was doing back then a little bit is I felt so much like a fish out of water. I wanted something to validate me because in my mind, I'm thinking, why would God choose somebody like me to do this? That's why I kept looking for other people. I kept thinking, if I could get so-and-so to do this, then that would free me up and I could just go ahead and do what I need to do. But I was not getting any takers. Nobody was. And I think that I was looking for some validation. And I thought, well, if I could sell her on this, let's see what might happen. Seriously.
Wow.
That's how I see myself. People think that I see myself a certain way. Mm-hmm. I really have a very low self-esteem, I guess.
That's hard for me to believe.
It's hard for everybody to believe, but it is the truth. It really is, Deborah.
Wow.
Now, I wouldn't lie to you.
I believe that.
Okay, that's the truth. So, you came in, and I didn't really know what you did.
Oh.
So, what did you do? What does a volunteer chaplain do for the Work Release Center?
Let's see. I coordinated the volunteers, which is how I came across you and your crew, because the files in the chaplain's office, which actually was non-existent when I got there, and that room was being used for everything. So the first thing I did was reorganize the chaplain's office, and then I started going through the files and inviting all of the current volunteers to come and have a meeting so that we could see if you're still interested, if you're still going to participate, because I'm very protective of whoever I'm put in charge of. So when I became their chaplain, even as a volunteer, it became extremely important to me to make sure that the people who were coming in to minister the word were first ministering the word. And then secondarily, if they were still interested in participating, because after a while, people, they start out one way and then they can wane. Their interest in doing it can wane. And I didn't want that to be the case for anybody who was currently ministering to my girls, I will say. I wanted them to receive only the best of what God had for them.
How many women were at the Work Release Center?
Honestly, don't recall that.
You don't?
No, ma'am.
A lot.
A lot, yes.
A whole lot.
Indeed, indeed. We eventually started a faith dorm there, which that went well as far as I knew up to a point, and then it became the talk of the town, so to speak, the talk of the facility. In that, so I took that, of course, to the Lord, and He gave me something that I have used several times since then, a little poem that makes it easy to understand in any situation where gossip is involved. It's okay if I share what the Lord gave me?
Yes.
He said,
Absolutely. No secrets on here.
okay. He said, if it's true, don't defend it, fix it. If it's not true, don't deny it, forget it. Hush, my child, don't say a word. Your life will tell the tale that is heard. And I have shared that several times. And it's been I've had to remember it several times as well.
I can remember it.
Good. Very good. It's easy to remember because and I knew it didn't come from me. It came too quickly. I didn't have to sit down and rhyme or any of that. And I was like, wow, that is very good. I like that. So I've used it a lot.
So you had classes there?
I did. I did not teach any classes there. I used, I did the devotions, or rather the evening services, once or twice a week, but I did not teach any classes. I was only there like 3 hours, 3 days a week, I think.
And 18 years is how long you have been at the center.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, we just had our 20th anniversary.
Yes, I was there.
20 years, they gave us they gave me 6 weeks, and I took 20 years.
It takes you a long time to get stuff done.
Yeah. I'm telling you, that was a 20 years.
Wow, I know. It's so
Who would have
amazing.
ever thought that?
Such an amazing thought. And so grateful to be a part of that.
Well, you came. I hired you right from the start,
Yes, ma'am.
and never ever regretted it. She is the most organized person in our entire ministry.
Well, thank
She
you.
sends me memos about my memos to make sure I do my memos. And she has everybody. I guess you are probably our most popular. We never have anybody to say anything bad about you. I don't allow them
Oh, well,
to
thank you.
put me. I'm not on I'm not on
Survey? For the survey?
the survey. I don't let myself be put on the survey because I don't want to hear what they say about me, because I'm thinking if I get on the survey, then I will embarrass myself. So I'm not on the survey. But you are about our most popular person on the survey. No one ever has anything wrong to say about you.
Well, that causes me concern. Thank you for saying it, though. But I think the word says something about beware when.
Be wary if no one
Yeah,
talks ill against you.
exactly.
Yeah, so
Exactly.
you better watch it. So when you there, the first thing you did is you started going to school.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, I did start back to school. I'd always wanted my doctorate degree, but I'd gotten complacent because I'd been out of school for 30 plus years. My undergraduate degree was received in 78. So here we are nearly 30, actually, I think it was 32 years later, and I'm talking about going to school. But I took the plunge, and it took me just under 6 years, but I did end up with 2 master's degrees, a certification in forensic psychology, and a doctorate of ministry.
See, she gives us a good. I mean, that's good to have.
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, you validate me. That's why I got you. You know, so
Thank
you,
you.
every single day, you love on our women
Every day.
every day.
Actually lived with them for 15 years. I had the best, I'll get emotional, I'm trying not to.
Get
I had the
emotional.
best neighbors in the world for 15 years. I have good neighbors now, so I'm not talking about y'all, but I had no concerns. I felt safe. I felt at home. And
For 15 years,
15
you lived in the
years.
center with us.
Absolutely.
15 years.
15 years. Loved it. I am so
Why?
well. It came to me actually that it was time to move. I was about to sell my house. This is before I started with you, of course. I was about to sell my house and move to Colorado. And I had questions about, well, what's in Colorado? Nothing. I just felt like I'd like to relocate there. And
This is something you would never know about her. This meek, sweet, kind person has a real sense of adventure.
absolutely.
I mean, she really does.
So that was my plan. And we were having a Christmas party for my local church family. And I was driving for some, myself and a couple of visually challenged friends. So I had, already agreed to pick them up. So I get there to pick them up, and there's an additional person who's asking, can she ride along too? And I was like, well, there's an available seat, of course. And so she gets in, we're off. They live in the middle of the block, and we haven't even made it to the corner when she says, now I have to be back by 10 o'clock. And so the me that I actually am said, inside, not outside where anybody could hear it. Now, I didn't even know you were going, and now you're dictating what time we have to be back. But that was the blessing of it, that I had enough sense to keep my mouth shut, because I asked her, why, may I ask? Those were my exact words. And she said, because I live at the Love Lady Center, and they close the gate at 10. When she said the word Love Lady Center, it was like a coin dropped in a slot in my spirit. I knew, just like I knew my name, that Love Lady Center is where I was supposed to be, not Colorado. Everything changed with that one statement.
So, this person that you were taking said she had we locked the gates at 10 o'clock,
Yes.
and you knew that that's where you were supposed
Yes,
to be.
just when she said the word Love Lady, I don't know that I was even aware of what was actually going on at Love Lady.
Was that before you had come
Yes.
to meet me?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, gosh, I just fell right into place, didn't I?
Yes, ma'am. Well, I knew I was working at the
Work release.
work release, yes. So I knew of you, but I didn't know
Probably
the
too many
extent.
people knew of me.
I didn't know the extent.
Do you remember all that we went through in the beginning?
Oh yes, ma'am. I was there for a lot of those meetings, and it was difficult to sit
horrible.
through. It was.
Oh, I had so much I wanted to say. And I remember, you know, I remember that when they would write about me in the paper and what I was trying to do and how this was that and all this nonsense, no truth to it. And I was so upset about it. And I would say, how can they say this about me? They don't even know me.
Right.
And I want to say things back. And I would, in my mind, I would write all these arguments to tell them exactly what I thought of them. But they were always in my mind, thank
Yes,
goodness.
ma'am. You handled every meeting that I attended. You handled it very well.
Thank you, Jab. But I wasn't really handling it very well. On the inside, I was thinking, you ought to be ashamed of yourself talking about me like that. But what happened is, in Peter it says, they hurled all manner of accusations at our Savior.
Amen.
And he stood and said not a word. And I thought, gosh, Lord, why didn't you say some stuff that would have given me the freedom for me to be able to say it? But I said nothing, and we came out of it okay.
Yes,
But
absolutely.
boy, it was rough, wasn't it?
It was.
It was probably the first 10 years were the hardest.
I would say.
Is that why you stayed there 15 years?
I don't know. I was just
Do you
glad
feel
to
like
be
that
there.
that's just the Lord wanted you there?
I think so. I felt like a watchman on the wall. And the reason that I can say that with great assurance is that whenever I would go and stay at my mom's house or just come back, even if I came back a little bit later in the evening or the early morning, because I would leave her house sometime at like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning and return to the center. But invariably, there would be an ambulance or a fire truck or a police car in front of the center every time I came back. So I eventually said to Melinda, I said, you know what? I cannot leave you people alone for a moment.
We get in more trouble when you're gone. Boy, those late night visits.
Yes.
And every single night back then, I would get up and I would drive to the center every night.
Wow. So maybe you should have been staying there too.
Maybe I should. Well, I did stay there, don't you
I
remember?
do remember that. When
I
you had
stayed
your
there
room
for.
there.
I stayed there when Jeff was in the beach. Hunter and I stayed at the center. And we used to lay there and we talked, and some special times I enjoyed that.
Yeah, I would
I
imagine.
enjoyed that. Now, you were a single woman,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
and I knew one of the things that you felt like the Lord was going to do was going to bring you a husband.
Yes.
And he did.
And he did.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm no longer staying at the center.
Which is why now you have a house to live in.
Yes.
Uh-huh. You met some remarkable people. It's kind of how the center kind of engulfs your life, doesn't
It does. It does. But not in an,
Selfish
I wish these
manner.
people, right, no, not at all. I wish these people would leave me alone. No way. No way. I have never one time felt that way about it.
I have.
I have not, and I'm grateful for that. I've just been so grateful to be a part of this and so humbled, honestly, that the Lord trusts me with his people and that he would grace me with such amazing employers that I can give you this example. It just happened Thursday. I was sitting in the hallway at the 3 o'clock hour for the babies to come by with their costumes on to give them candy. And one of my counselors came out and said to me, "Are you just sitting out here giving the babies candy?" And I said, "Yes, and they pay me to do it." And that's really how I have felt about everything that I've had the honor and the privilege to be a part of in building the counseling department and being blessed with such amazing counselor. I have an amazing team, and I'm so honored for that.
Okay, now exactly. Let's tell everybody exactly what you do.
I am the Director of Counseling Services for Solomon's Well, which is the counseling arm of the Love Lady Center. And what I do after that is everything. I built the department from scratch, and I didn't know anything about counseling. I was a counselor because I had been one as a part of my local outreach from church, from my home church. So I had been counseling about 5 years or so before I came with you. And but
Do you
it's-
love to counsel?
I love it. Absolutely. I love it. And
Don't you get tired of hearing them whine?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But not in the sense of I don't care what you're saying. I'm here to hear that. But when I'm listening to them talk, I'm also listening to the Lord, listening for him to speak, and he often speaks. So I'm always listening to two people. So that entire process is beautiful and amazing to me, especially when I hear him say something and I say it to them, and they're like, "How did you know that?" It's like he talks. You know, when there's something I need to know, he tells me. He's not a gossip, so he doesn't tell me stuff I don't need to know. But I have cute stories of clients who avoid me at all costs because they think I know what's going on in their lives, and I don't. I don't have a clue unless the Lord tells me. And if he tells me, he's telling me for a reason.
So, you love to counsel.
I
the
do.
women.
I absolutely do.
You don't find it a burden at all.
No, ma'am. Not in any way.
Why do sometimes I feel burdened?
Well, I don't know the answer to that question, but I do know that like the position that you hold, that's a calling. Not everybody could do what you do, not just would do, but could do what you do. And I feel that way about being a counselor or being a client rep or any of the positions at the Love Lady Center. If you're not called to that, you will not last in that.
I sometimes do feel burdened. I feel like, straighten up.
Now, I have told Melinda, I went to her office once, this has been several years ago, and I said, I quit. And she said, it's not a good day for that because I'm accepting all of the quitters. Everybody who wants to quit, I'm accepting that. And I said, well, no, I'm not really quitting then. So I did not want that to be
Oh,
accepted.
no, a couple of times, especially right when you were getting married, you would want to talk to Melinda and me, and she'd say, you want to talk to her? I said, nope. She would say, well, I don't either. I said, well, maybe she'll go away. We don't want to talk to you if we're thinking about it. We don't want to lose you. So, how long have you been married now?
For a little bit over 4 years.
You're kidding.
No, ma'am.
Are you happy?
Very. Yeah.
You got the one you wanted.
Apparently. Well, actually, we've known each other 53 years, and he just won't go away, so let's go with that.
Let's go with that. Yeah. But all these years have not been easy for you.
No, ma'am.
You had you had a health scare.
Yes.
Are you doing fine?
I'm doing much better. Much better.
But you also you lost that precious son.
Yes, ma'am. Very precious. And I have my moments where but my story, and I am sticking to it, is God is only good. I take great pleasure in remembering how much Jason loved telling dad jokes. So I always think
Love is what?
he would love to tell dad jokes. So he would call me periodically to tell me one. And so the way I see him being in heaven is him walking up to Jesus and saying, Jesus, have you heard this one? And then the story always continues this way. Son, leave him alone. He's busy. He has stuff to do. And of course he's heard it. He probably made it up. That gives
So-
me pleasure.
You have rough days and
Yes, I have moments, not real days. Nothing lasts hard like that. It doesn't last for very long. And with the grief, it's sneaky. So I'll be fine, perfectly fine, just walking through a room or sitting at my desk, and just something will cause a thought that takes me to tears, but it doesn't last long. It doesn't last long. And times that I've needed it, one of the special times that I can recall is there's always someone there. Candace Jones, Melinda, they're there. They're always in the right place at the right time. And I'm grateful for that. So.
how long? I've wondered about losing a child.
It's worse than you could ever imagine. I mean, no matter how tough you would think it is, it's worse. It's worse than that. If I didn't know Jesus, I don't know what that would be like. I can't even imagine going through it without Jesus and the family that I have. And when I say family, I include my blood family and Love Lady. I have an amazing support group, and I'm grateful for that. My friends, I also have lifelong friends that I've had 50 plus years as well, and everybody was there for me when I needed them.
Jeff, my Jeff lost his son, my stepson,
Yes,
Jason,
I remember.
and I don't think that Jeff has ever really gotten over that. Do you think you ever get over it?
No, I think the hole is there. The hole that place that they held in your life remains there, and the only way to fill that is with the sweet memories. As long as you remember that person, as long as they are remembered, they never are actually gone, because the memory helps them live on. Especially when you can make up a story like the one I make up about the dad jokes and him bothering, quote unquote, Jesus every day with them. I know he's in heaven. I know that he knew Jesus before he left here.
Who?
Jason, my Jason.
Your
So,
Jason.
yes, I know
No
that.
doubt in my mind.
Yes.
He,
And he loved
very
Jesus.
unique person.
Indeed.
He was a
Indeed.
very unique person.
Yes.
And he struggled with health, and he was always right there, right,
Yes.
and he didn't complain.
No, he didn't. He was never a complainer. And, if you didn't know his story health-wise, you would never find it out because he just wasn't that type of person to put that on anybody. And if you asked him to do something, he would do whatever he could.
Do you think it made you be a better counselor?
What in particular?
His death.
Yes, because it gave me something to draw on with the number of clients who I have spoken with who have lost children. I have I have an experience to draw on when ministering to them. So, yes, ma'am, I would say that.
We have so much death in the center.
Yes, very true.
So much death. Do you struggle with how much death we have?
Well, I can't say that I struggle with it. I choose to believe that they are in heaven. I will miss them, of course, and I do keep the obituaries so that I'm aware, and I have a thick packet of it. So in that sense, when I look at that, I hate
How
that
many
it's so
is in
thick.
there?
I have never counted them, but the packet is at least 1.5 inches thick. So I don't know how many are there, but there are a lot, and it is very sad. I miss a lot of those. In particular, some come to mind. One, if I may, Pam Smith had agreed to be the donor for Jason's kidney transplant, and they called each other Left Side, which I thought was really cute.
Who?
Pam Smith. And now she had never been tested. Another client had been tested and was approved. She was a match, an exact match for Jason. And the story that, as she tells it, if I may, because she's a current client at the center now, she told me when I made mention of it in a devotion that I was doing that Jason needed a transplant. She said at that moment the Lord spoke to her and told her she was a match. And she told me after the service what the Lord had said to her. And then she went to Vanderbilt and was tested and was an exact match for Jason. But he never got to that point. He never got to the weight that he needed to be at in order to receive the transplant. But he showed up. What brought that up was he showed up at Pam's homegoing. And when I looked up and saw him there, I was like, Left Side, So then it was less than a year. Yeah, less than a year that he left us.
COVID had something to do with it, didn't it?
I don't know. He was in the hospital during COVID, which was really sad because the only thing we could do was talk on the phone. But he had to come, I think, pretty well through COVID. We were on the other side of that.
How's his children doing?
They seem to be doing well.
Have Fred been a lot of comfort to you during this?
Yes, ma'am. He has.
Well, I can get right down there in there, can I? I just feel like I want to know about you with how you've done with this.
Oh.
Because this, to me, would be one of the very hardest things I would have to face.
Yes, ma'am. It's definitely been a very difficult thing to face, but with the grace of God, by the grace of God, and with His help, His leading, and the beautiful support that I have from my counseling team, especially on a day-to-day basis.
How many counselors do you have?
Actually, there are 7 staff and 4 volunteers. So I have a full contingent at this point. In the end, and I say full simply because we don't have any more office space.
I am not adding on. I don't know what to tell you. You know.
I could use more if we had more
Oh,
space.
listen. Whenever we're looking and people's wanting, you are never shy about putting in your
Absolutely.
request. I want more room, more furniture, more counselors. I want.
More.
And I'll tell Melinda now you can handle her. But we just love you so much, and my goodness,
And I love you
I
guys.
hope you are with us too. How would you retire?
According to my supervisor, who happens to be your daughter, there's no such thing as retirement in the Bible.
No, there's not.
So,
I taught her that.
oh, is that where it came from? So you're who I have to blame in that I don't
Right.
have a potential
Right.
retirement date.
There is no retirement in the Bible. How do you retire from God?
You can't.
You can't.
That you can't.
You're stuck. You know,
I'm good with that.
you can take a few days off here and there.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I'll remind her that you said that.
You are just such a wonderful, wonderful inspiration to all of us.
Thank
Great
you.
devotions, great this, great that. We'll argue about once saved, always saved later on. We disagree on that.
Yes.
But anyway, we will. We'll talk about that later on.
Yes,
But
ma'am.
I just love you, and I'm so glad to have you. I wanted people to get to know a little bit. I want people to know that there are people like you that love. Your capacity for love is so huge.
It's
And
such an
I
honor.
am so honored that the Lord allows me to work with you.
Well, thank you. That is so very kind of you to
That
say.
is so, I love that. It makes me think, well, there must be something to me then. If Chap likes me,
I love you dearly.
I love you.
And I do want to say that, your stepson, Jason, was my Marvel buddy. We would talk about Marvel movies. So I miss him too. Whenever I walk in the office, in Melinda's office, Jason would be sitting in there and we'd start talking about Marvel because, as you said, I love adventure and excitement, all of that stuff. And when he mentioned something and I picked up the conversation, he was amazed. And he said, I would never have thought that you would know anything about that. But after that, we became fast Marvel buddies.
Well,
I miss him.
I love him.
Me too.
I miss him too.
Yes,
I miss you, Jason.
me too.
And I miss some of the girls so much.
Yes, indeed.
Shay, Shanna, LL. So many.
So many of them.
I never, ever expected this much death. But we're so glad to have you.
Thank you.
I
so
love
honored
you so
to be
much.
there.
I want to have you back. I want to hear more about this counseling things, and
Yes, ma'am.
we just barely got on it. But I thank you. I thank you so much for being
Yes,
here
ma'am.
today.
Been
We are
absolutely
so
my
glad to
pleasure.
have had Chap, aren't we? Because she
My
really makes
pleasure.
me feel good. Okay, so here you are, and we'll see you soon.
Yes, ma'am. I look forward to it.
Thank you.
Thank you.